And welcome back, everybody. We apologize for the brief interruption due to some tech issues. And in the meantime, we have learned that after our extra credit lesson of Little Pups versus Cher's Daycare, I am happy to announce that Little Pups has fast-tracked and skipped a grade, advancing into the semi-finals, which means, Jen, that we are going to jump to another class that has already in session for the quarterfinals. It is going to be Furry Containment Center versus DS Pug Team. Now, I'm guessing you don't recognize either of these two names.
Not really.
But I think this is going to actually be, in my mind, a spicier matchup than what we had in our last one, because obviously that was a very quick map we got to witness over on Lotus. And I think even the storylines are there because we have teammates that have we have players on these two teams that have been teammates in the past going up against each other, just to boil it down a little bit here. And we'll dive more into it when we cover like the rosters and the maps. But what do you think about this matchup?
Well, I really love me some, the dynamic you just told me, just the teammates now facing off against each other. So I'm imagining that they know their play styles and know like their tendencies. So it's really interesting to see, previous like friends playing against each other now. So maybe we'll have some like mind reading moments of these players. But yeah, what are you expecting? Because you have seen these teams before and like know like much more about like the players than I do coming from EMEA. So I want to hear your perspective on it.
Yeah, so I think when I talk about like the team that's been broken apart right now, I think it's mainly from Sad Frost, actually. Like, for example, Free Containment Center has Battison on the team, and they were just playing, under Sad Frost more recently, like in the Tanak series. And DS Pug Team has like the kind of duo of Cokes and 3 Dizzy, or more maybe commonly known as 3 Down. They just rebranded, I believe. So again, that kind of like completes a different subset of players. And then like we also bring in that Pug energy, right? If there's going to be slight kind of variations in the play style, just because it is newer kind of players complementing both of these squads. But also, I mentioned this prior, right? I talked about how our last matchup with Little Pups had like the majority of the Oompies players for main event, right? But there is a 2-player main event rule, so the other players for that team have to find somewhere to go, right? Well, Furry Containment Center ended up adopting one of the lost puppies from that squad, and Terror actually is playing with them as well. So again, they're gonna have a little bit of that firepower, I think, behind them, which is why this is such an interesting match.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see it, and I believe if our map factors is ready, we could look at the maps that we will be seeing in this best of 3. And yeah, to start off, the Ace-Pac team with banning Haven and Freaky Timing Center banning Bind, and we have Sunset here and an Icepac as well. So they going from a like sunny environment to like a wintry environment, and then we have the middle Ascent.
No, for sure. Like, we went from, like I said, such a, I'll call it stale map veto to one that's very, very colorful and spicy, right? Other than the Ascent Decider, which, litmus test to decide if you go to a map 3 is fair. But Sunset, right, they just changed and innovated the B site here, for better or for worse, we're going to find out. And like we said, Icebox, much like Lotus, is going to be leaving that map pool, so maybe a very similar kind of final hurrah for this tournament. But regardless, I think it's definitely going to be more fun on a map like Sunset, because like we said, we have these kind of consistencies, like the experience you have with these players, but then you're being thrown into maybe a new site environment, especially on that B site, where that B site is even forcing teammates or teams, I should say, to deliberate composition changes, right? Like, that's how much a Cypher Anchor was important and vital to a defensive side B. And now that you've kind of stripped that away, people are like, okay, do we run a double Sentinel? Do we run like the Cypher anymore? And I'm curious to see if those kind of answers are going to come out in the picks that we see on this agent select.
And with Sunset, I feel like there is some like agents you just go to, like a Cypher or maybe a Gecko. We're seeing a lot of these teams pick a Gecko as like their initiator, but you can also shake things up. You can also like choose, and we've seen really like Deadlock coming into play so far. That have been like an interesting like pseudo Sentinel pick for like this map as well. But yeah, I'm kind of like, as always, I just really want to see like some like new stuff going on as always. And yeah, for the sunsets, we have this agent select coming up, so we will be seeing what these teams have chosen. But what do you think, Zoe?
I think it hasn't really been too long where these teams are going to make drastic changes in my mind. Like, I would like to see maybe a Deadlock Cypher or like this potentially like a Deadlock, a Cypher Sage just because of the changes. But like I said, I don't realistically see teams having had enough time to make these changes. But I could be called a liar, Terror. I do think I remember Terra running a Vice in a pug or two, so this would definitely be, like I said, very similar kind of flavor to the Cypher Deadlock, but I haven't really had time, I think, since, like we said, we are lesson planning last minute here, the curriculum, as we jumped into this quarterfinals, but that would be definitely a new topic for us to cover even, it would be the Terror Vice.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm liking what I see from Furry Containment here. Like the Breach and the Neon, of course, really like powerhouses here. But the other agent picks as well just feels like, solid. Oh, meanwhile, we're seeing both Terran and Irene on the Breach. Hello.
Terror just is trolling. We're gonna see if they actually lock it in. I think Terror I more associate as a Sova player, so I really expect maybe last second one of them to swap to the Sova, because then it'll be the Sova Breach, kind of a very typical. No, sorry, we're gonna get the Breach Fade. Okay. Now this is interesting because typically, right, you either have the Raised or the Sova. I think like the first meta composition was both, so you have soul dependency for breaking the Cypher utility. But then that's also the luxury that the B site changes have made, is that you don't definitively need someone to break those trap wires on the B site. So then you only really do need that one player, because you're gonna have other options, or you're gonna be able to walk up and break it manually. So it's giving them a little bit more leniency perhaps to go with agent picks they may be a little bit more comfortable with, like a Fade, or then you don't have to worry about picking a Neon over a Raise. So I'm excited for that. But what else did you kind of see that could be potentially interesting counterpoints for these compositions?
Yeah, the double initiator just really caught my attention on the side of the SPUG team. And for Furry Containments, just as I said, their team composition looks solid right now, because whether they're on the defense or attack, I feel like they can make it work, and they don't really have the gaps just from like their agent selection. So I feel like both of these teams are set to have a good matchup here, and I feel like it could be looking pretty even actually. Yeah. But yeah, it all just depends. It just all depends on the special round and how it goes. And it seems like the SPUG team will want to start it off in the A side.
Yeah, that's another change. Even me playing my comp games, I'm playing a lot more. And talked about role consistency when you're switching up these rosters going to pug teams. Well, 3 down or 3 Dizzy is a consistent Sentinel player, so I'm going to expect big things from them. And they have already opened up this map with the first blood here. Spike will be conceded the plant, but nothing else here. No players falling so far for Furry Containment as they fight back. That finally has been spared as Terror finds one, but a beautiful stun trade here. And it is all left on Battison, who cannot close it out. 1v4 denied. Furry Containment gonna get the pistol round.
And really in dominant fashion as well, because as SPUG team was going in, I was like, okay, this retake is suspiciously easy of the site. So Furry Containment was just like waiting for them to like, okay, have the site first, and then we're gonna just use your utility to kick you out of the site. So that's what they did, and it was a successful endeavor, and they're going in for this buy here with their economic advantage. But you can see also the SPUG team, they do not want to have Furry Containment reach the second scoreline here, and they're also going to be forcing.
That is interesting for sure. That is a statement. Like, even Lil Pups, we didn't really see them force after losing a pistol when they were up pretty heavily here. But DS Pug Team for a reason, right? Gonna go for this really creative buy. And Bunnybee, I think, is actually subbing in. I don't think I saw their name playing for the last squad. That is also an explosive upgrade. And speaking of explosive here, if you're gonna force up, might as well take the space. Fighting in a CT here. One way. Kind of emboldening them to do so here, but now that has faded away. They have kind of now repivoted because they didn't see any additional players to fight here in to link off of this paranoia. Wire has outpaced it, and now Veldel is here as well. And this Bucky, oh my goodness, switch to the ghost. Whoa.
Okay, it's just pandemonium at this point, and Irene left alone with 3 players to deal with, like all low HP, but the spike is just gonna be defused before you even realize it. Just all too late. 4 pieces for Irene, but not enough to score.
And man, I did not. I don't know how I ended up missing the fact that Bunny Bee was playing in the last series. Oh, they got subbed in after map 1 for Odessa. Yeah.
Odessa,
No, wait, no, they played with them. Who did they get subbed out for? Either way, I did not realize Bunny Bee was here, and Bunny Bee is also part of that Infused kind of picture that I talked about. So we kind of brought together, like I said, a duo from one team of main event squad. So this was another kind of pug squad built to succeed. And I think that's why they were emboldened for that buy. But now it's been punished. Furry Containment take their weapons forward as a pretty seamless round here. And now the issue is that DS Pug is out the round, out the money. This would normally be your first round on the board if you did save. So now, I mean, make moves like this and be just fine.
Okay, Bunny Bee just walking right into Rain's attention there. And Vi are currently in fights with Madison. She will win that and get out to get the orb. Meanwhile, the Spark team only 3 players left alive. They have not much like options to go anymore because they have failed to establish a pressure on D and mid. So if you just have to take these fights in A and hope it counts.
Well, I mean, silver lining here is the Nico, and you've made it to the site. You're about to get the plant as well if you're not scared of your own Fade Han. They're master nightmares for a reason, but I like this utility as well, all built to delay. Now, I don't want to see you get rash. Don't invest the Rolling Thunder unless you need to, and now that opportunity, that choice has been stripped away. A 1v3, Irene does have the Guardian in hand, but there it is. Another clean closeout. 3-0-4 Furry Containment Center.
Yeah, let's start positioning now, and it's a pretty similar situation as last round as well. Irene against the world, and it just doesn't work out. And Furry Containment, well, they seem to be handling it so good so far. I mean, their retakes have been really good. And just when the Spark team is actually, planning on, okay, let's start with utility to, not to get into sight, but to play the post plant and manage the aggression that Furry Containment has been showing for so many rounds here, but it just doesn't seem to work out when they're like Furry Containment has been so rapid in their actions.
For sure. And we were saying that this we thought was going to be a little bit closer of a matchup, but maybe Furry Containment Center got the better pieces of the sad roster. The Wire is definitely making it seem that way. They're like, hey, you didn't include me in the narrative. I'm going to write my own chapter here. Unfortunately, they are going to get shut down, and that's also going to give, I think, the Nightfall over. So there's a lot of ultimates to clap back here with these collected weapons. The question is, are they going to make the move in the right spot, especially when Celeste is already holding down A main solo with a cacophony of shock darts.
And look at how Furry Containment has spread out here in all sides, supposed B and A, just accounting for everything, even though they have the advantage of the players. And Celeste is just in the front lines here, trying to do something with the Sheriff. It just doesn't work. Now the numbers are even, and the Nightfall as well, just going in, and Valtalo trying to do something, but Terra just shuts her down.
1 HP. They need to play their life, because they might be the only life left. The timing here. The wrap is really clean. I like Baddison disengaging, just trusting them here. But that ship...
30 seconds.
The ship is almost sailed. Rolling Thunder might as well let it pop when you are 1 HP. 3 is he able to get to safety, but that's only from main, not from Baddison, who was tucked away elbow the entire time. DS Pug team on the board. Great recovery after Wired opens up with the overdrive, but it did come at the cost of 2 ults here, Jaren.
Yeah, I mean, they could have taken that 1v2 fight as well with courage, but they were just like, okay, we're just not gonna risk this at all. When they have, forced their way into like 2 rounds at this point, so if they had lost that, they would have been at like a further economic disadvantage. So you make your shots count. It's a round 1 in the end, but let's see if they can keep the streak up here.
Bumpy start after you force, but you gain your footing. Gotta learn to walk before you run, and Wire looking maybe just to trip them before that development becomes.
Oh yeah, Madison is suspicious. Who's gonna catch who first?
Oh, Pixels! Pixels versus consistency. The scaling, not enough, and there's another opening being generated here. Perhaps. How did Bunny Beef get here?
Oh, I have no idea. No, that's a mistake. inside the Furry Containment, but
Rain's
look
holding
who
it.
they have. Yeah, Rain is just in spawn, so they're not worried about it just yet. And Terry is finding the kills, and Celeste, the S-Pac team looking so good so far, but they still are not in sight. They have the advantage of Bunny B going in for the lurk play here. Oh, but the pain shells just cannot commit. They still, they're somehow in the sight, and Wire now the only player left alive from Furry Containment. Their positioning should be guessed as well, but let's see how they're gonna be managing this. Okay, getting 1 kill, cannot score the 2.
Ooh. And they are definitely starting to sew up this gap, and I need to just like walk everybody else through my developments, because like with each passing round I'm like taking a look back and I'm realizing like how stacked these squads are. For example, like Rain as well was there during like the SNG heydays as well, like a squad that was like winning out a lot of off-season events last year, right? And they are now strengthening this squad as well. You know, they were watching out over towards spawn, so that was clean too. So that's another player to keep an eye on. It's just like every player in this lobby is going to be getting their moment at some point. But the focus now on DS Pug team, because they are the ones on the road to recovery here. Economy not there for Furry Containment Center here. Now they've even adapted a strategy to try to deal with Wire, who has gotten away with murder literally against Madison beforehand. And this is gonna also maybe give them that safety net that they think they have. It's for the rotation to come back with Spike, but I like this reserve setup they have, right? Fault line ready to go. You swing with the deagle and you pray. There it is.
Oh yeah, it goes forward, but Bunny B is able to deal with Wire. Rain still trying to do something. Sheriff just do not connect. And with the neural theft, the S-Pac team is settled for victory here. The Spike should go down, and Furry Containment is just arriving very late to the party.
Yeah, and Celeste, no use of the Hunter's Fury to deny that plant. Right, it's an eco around your down numbers. DS Pug team even has the showstopper if they truly need it. But Buddy B says, I got a weapon in my hand. I do not need a bazooka, but I do need that ace.
Oh.
3 Dizzy, realizing they're going to be hunting it down here. The satchels are in, and the score comes up against them. But what's more embarrassing, being the final kill in an ace, or getting knifed in the back by your clone? Madison tying us up 3-3 with a final knife kill on the round. Perfect extraction. And if you talk about the mental hole you find yourself in after losing a force by second round, a knife kill can definitely right your mental.
Definitely. And yeah, the 4-kill loss is just brutal. I mean, we've seen like 3, 4
So
like
many
aces lost. Yeah, like it doesn't have to be a clutch, but still, like when you're doing so much, it's just, yeah. I mean, painful.
Twitter clips unfinished or to be posted later on with regrets.
Yeah.
But regardless, right now, neither team has regrets just yet. Tied 3-3. It's going to be an important round, right? Rifles for both teams, some good ultimates, and because of that, they've all gotten out of dodge on the B side. Just give them that space, respect the take.
Oh, come on.
They've gone over all of this utility.
Oh, yeah, definitely. They are in the side, but at what cost? The Hunter's Fury is online as well and chasing Irene until she goes down. Now this retake is imminent. The S-Pac team only with 3 players left, now making it through, and Terra is still left standing. But what more can they do when Furry Containment and they're just running and gunning it down?
I mean, that was really, really clean, right? I feel like that entry with the showstop went over all the Cypher utilities, and then they had to make the time still to like go back and destroy it, right? And I think the spy cam finding Bunny Bee there was huge as well, because then you get that spray down from CT. And I talked about Celeste, right? Saving the ultimate, not investing it there on that eco round. So now they have these ultimates when they have weapons in hand to start layering for round after round, a marathon or a flurry of ults, because they used 1 and got the round, right? Now they have 4 others to work with here for this recovery. They have the lead. They're going to look to expand it. And if they win this round, DS Pug Team's economy will be shattered. It's a very similar boat for them as well, but it's a matter of who is going to sink first.
Yeah, it is a question. And DS Pug Team seems to be focusing their attention more on mid this time. Just, they try to make noise as well. Yeah, the door to market will be broken. Okay, so the player here has to watch out the TP out of there. Vital going in. But the paranoia is not able to find a kill. Yeah, so much utilities being wasted of just trying to keep the S-Pac team out of mid. But they still make their way through.
That's the B site. This time they all are going backside, not just leaving that to Bunny Bee since they were playing in Market instead. But little distraction play, maybe a misstep, and they are starting to let these 1v1s go with the favor of Furry Containment. And again, I talked about it, they don't use ults, they don't think they have to, but they probably should have. Because Madison, a 3-piece on the round, and we are going to be tied again here. 4-4 on Sunset.
Yeah, I feel like what I said just straight up backfired on me, but that was a really good 3-piece by Madison to secure the round in the end. And yeah, they seem to be like doing a lot so far. For Containment, I feel like their retakes are really, really good. But when the SPAC team had also had the utility to play around and the right opportunities to make their shots count, it's just none the wiser, you know, they're just getting ground.
Well, we saw the success of an early overdrive a few rounds prior. This time it might not be finding frags, but it has gotten so much information, and it's still going to find some frags. One and done. A scale up, though. There was a teammate at their side. Rain. Oh, narrowly dodging a bullet there. Or a Bunny Bee, I should say here. Still going for the re-clear here. No gun in hand. Like I said, the economy broken for some of these players, and now the round wide open, information lost, and so is the round, just like that.
Oh, so unfortunate. Rain just being caught with a knife in hands. I never want to be in that situation, but still, the SPAC team just, again, making their shots count, and they seem to have just recovered really, really quickly, and just they're reading Furry Containment so well here.
Yeah. It's not even that, right? They're just like collapsing inwards after establishing mid control. So I like this adjustment from Furry Containment Center. I was about to say, I want to see you maybe fight or more commit to the fight mid, because you kind of just been like haphazardly trying to piece it apart one after another, which works. The DS Bug is giving you the 1v1s, but they no longer are. So Fade Haunt in, Relay, Volt as well, trying to isolate these fights, and look at this. They are not going down without a fight.
Oh my god.
Double investment. Nightfall, Rolling Thunder, Terror with the first blood here, and they said if you want to fight for it, we'll fight for it. And just like that, they decide finally they know when to cut their losses. They'll lose the battle, maybe win the war, because you're going to win the A site. You're going to win the plant, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that Wire is still alive after being in just facing head-on those two ults. But still, yeah, DS Furry Containment have 3 players, and Wire is still alive and kicking and finding those kills. And Odaska, especially, and Bunny Bee in the back sides here still, with the pain shots doing some damage. Now 3v3, retake, going to be had here, and Wire still making her shots count whenever possible until Bunny Bee goes her down, but Biobetel still here, and Irene just in these positions cannot manage with the pressure. Once again, you're seeing Irene in a clutch situation, and it's just not really working out in their favor.
Oh, and really for me there, like, I go back to that mid duel, right? And I briefly interrupt our Radiant Academy 105 class session to bring you an economics lesson, right? They really just like weighed the benefits of that opportunity cost for investing resources upon resources, and their company went bankrupt, right? So they lost that heavy investment. They lost the round. We're tied 5-5. And Furry Containment, like I said beforehand, they know when to stop committing ultimates, right? And now they still have Rolling Thunder, so they have a slight edge here in my mind. The only difference here could be that Bunny Bee, heck of an entrepreneur, about to get another showstopper online. This could be everything but Wire. Oh, you've however stage. You're welcome again.
Wow, just like getting the first kill like that, and Furry Containment is already at a disadvantage. And also positioning is really good. But Rain is just ready, and a counter ult is going to be initiated. The showstopper finds no value though, unfortunately.
Doesn't find kill value, but it's scare tactic for scare tactic, right? You're not going to be pushing in because that bazooka is still accurate alongside the first bullets, and just like that, because of it, right? The difference is that none of your teammates die to that Rolling Thunder, right? So they neutralize it, right? It's like defusing a live bomb, and just like that, they all stay alive, and it's near flawless as well. 4 players fight, they keep the control of the site, they get the round, they get the safety net here. 5-2-6. And now is a good, I feel like, time to ask this, because I feel like in previous map sharing, we've had a really big focal point on how sighted a lot of these maps are, right? Because we've had Lotus now, you know, twice, very attack-sided map. Do you think, with the new updates, or even previously, Sunset was sighted? Like, if this is a 6-6, is a team favorite in the next half?
I don't think so actually. I mean, there are a lot of like corners you have to watch out for. So like always like feels like the defense has to watch out for every corner possible and have a like like a solid sentinel. But I feel like it's not that much of a difference. And when you have these teams competing against each other, you can see how equal they are. I mean, 5 to 6 still head and head. And why we're still just like making her shotgun still inside, still unpunished, and the third kill just going in for it. And Rain's still already onto the spike as well. Irene just being cornered, sprayed down, but what is happening? All of a sudden they clap back?
Wow, I just needed a second to internalize that. 7-5. No need to question if it's 6-6 who's favored, because now DS Pug team is... After a bumpy start with the fours, right, the rounds they were able to tie together, and the lack of consistency from Furry Containment Center on their round victories here was a big problem.
Yeah, okay, but before the action happened, we were just talking about, how, like, either this was a defender or attacker-sided map. With every map, it feels like when you're the attacker side, you have more like control over like where this can go. Like if you're able to get past the sentinel, just like protecting their defender spawn, I feel like you're able to just like just diminish the defenders in general when you're in the attacker side. But I mean, DS Pac team seems to be like so good so far. I mean, I'm just like. I'm still in the effects of what we just saw, like the clutch there. I just can't wrap my head around it. But yeah, I mean, I want to hear your thoughts on it as well, Zoe.
I think like I want to go back to an short-term memory loss. The neon that we had, I think it was Mint. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Over on Lotus, and how a big difference between them and the rounds they were losing to then the shift they made and started winning out rounds. I think what are they on? They're on Kitty Tactics. Was that they learned not to take a lot of fights or stop taking these first blood contact plays, and we really never saw that change come out here for Wire on the side of Furry Containment Center, and I think that's why they kept losing those rounds. If they lost Wire early, if they lost Wire early on, the round didn't go in their favor. Versus if Wire won those engagements, then they rounds ended it pretty quickly in terms of FCC. So I now that the sides have swapped, that momentum is going to be reset not only by the side change but also by the tech pause. Perhaps I'm wondering if now that they're on the attack half, that's going to help them more than anything. Is that kind of like confrontation mentality? Or if they're similarly going to kind of find themselves in a hole and get shut down on these entries, then it's going to be really, really difficult for SCC. So for me, I think Wire is going to be a focal point, I think, of my breakdown and success, I think, of this team in the second half. But aside from that, I think another player to keep an eye out for as well is similar to how Badison had insane lurking impact. I think that 3 Dizzy is also really, really capable of reading the map and calling plays in the middle of the round if it is a Pug squad. So I'm going to be looking to them to find these openings, identify where these players are, and call possible rotations.
Yeah, definitely. And at the start, actually, we kind of noticed how, like, for FCC, is really like dominant and knew like how to counter DS's, offensive like advantages and them like saving their utility towards like the later of the rounds and just like focusing on like getting into sight with like the firepower they had. But now like it seems to have switched, and I'm really interested to see like how they're able to keep up like the momentum going into the second half where the sides are switched. So I wonder if they're gonna be trying the same strategies as DS or doing something else. What do you think, like how do you think they'll be managing either their utility usage or like their gun advantage here?
Well, I'm hoping we don't get a second round 4 sub again from our V squads, because it was brazen, but it worked, I guess. They were able to get the lead finally by the end of the half. But aside from that, I don't really want to say that either team had a utility issue just yet. Like, I feel like we saw those as issues, I think, prior. I think, like, for example, you look back to, like, those A main plays between the Breach and the Neon. They were exactly what I asked for, right? It was more just Bunny Bee was able to get ahead of all of that and shut it down, right? And also, they were eco plays, so obviously you didn't have the best weapon regardless, and we're hoping the utility was enough to give you that edge. But again, so it's figuring out how to circumvent these kind of high-impact players, which then, again, goes back to, you have to find them first. person, either evade them or deal with them together. So communications are going to be paramount, or just again calling off of the information that you have to avoid them. Because I'm not saying I would want to avoid Bunny Bee, but when they've gotten like 4Ks upon 4Ks, that might be a player to avoid.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, we're just gonna come back here into the map.
All right.
And 5 to 7. I mean, it could easily be recovered by the S-Pac team, I think.
Yeah, and this is something we should probably communicate. The players, the scores are correct, but the names were swapped. So DS Pug team is the ones with Wire, and 3 Dizzy on it. Furry Containment Center is the one with like Battison and Bunny Bee. But scores intact, so is the standings, and so is Battison. Oh my goodness.
Oh my god. Yeah, just 3 kills to start off everything here. Now just 2 players left alive on the attacker's side. And one's being chased down. No ace, but still the round is won. And it's a flawless round to start it off.
They're still going for knife kills as the last cap of the round, but we'll see them we get those kind of off-the-wall eco forces, but I don't see one coming true here for DS Pug team. I mean, maybe because Furry Containment Center actually won the round out, but I think I need to go back to a point I brought up in the pre-show when I was highlighting the sunset changes. Battison, apologies, I did not respect your game when I said that a B-site anchor for Cypher was going to be weakened. It's simply that Battison did not need utility to pop off, they just needed their ghost at their side. The 3-piece, really, really nice there, and then the immediate rotation as well. Like, that speed was insane. But speaking of speed, 4 players on the A site. I do see that 3 Dizzy lurk that I mentioned prior, trademark it, but for now, really slow down after that fact, waiting for an eco push, perhaps from the defenders.
Yeah, definitely. Now, Rain actually just waiting on this ults here. Oh, and it doesn't actually commit because Bunny Bee is still alive and kicking with a judge in hand. What a play. I mean, there's still like alive here in the Free Containment, actually just pushing and contesting where the S-Pac team should be more active and, contesting this pressure here. It seems like they're just being cornered here. And Ryan is still getting the kills, but at what cost, 3 kills done, but still so much to do. 40 seconds on the clock. Now their positioning is also revealed. The spike is out of reach, and then the Seka is also with the Bucky. Just shuts it down. And it's another round for Furry Containment.
Go on my mark.
All right. Not as clean, as the semi-flawless as the 4 players walking away we see in the first half, but still, round 1 nonetheless. No thrifties thrown into the wind here. And Furry Containment now. It does mean that DS Pug team has kind of an opportunity to start mending this 4-round gap, but I still look towards, these Bulldogs, these Spectres. Spectre running gun can be nasty, and so can Bunny Bee with a judge, alright? And it is placed on the correct site at the moment, especially if you're going to come face-to-face with the Dashing and Neon. I said Wire, you gotta rein in the terror, and it does not look like they're going to. I think they're about to run into the judge! Oh no.
It is a possibility, definitely.
The bait
and
is
Bunny
wild.
Bee, okay, will be stunned here, but they walk into it as a question. They have to step out of their positioning here, and Rainy has to kill it. So Bunny Bee judge escape, but still, there's a danger of the whole squad just coming here. Yes, Puck team. Oh, has to manage with this pressure. Terror, just amazing kills right there, but still not enough to shut them down. Oh, these kills just going in back and forth.
Okay.
It's really hard to keep up with. Free Containment still here in A site, but they could as well be flanked actually by Dizzy.
Nah, Dizzy pushed through the site. I was gonna say, Dizzy has perfect timing time and time again, right? They got back to the site exactly when their team needed them to fight with them.
Oh.
But speaking of exact timing, you gotta...
Oh, no way.
I was gonna say, you gotta turn around, but no, you just capped it off even more beautifully. But these players are walking top mid, so I don't think either is gonna be hurt, and now they've even circumvented that danger zone of Boba, but I feel like Boba's gonna be the last place to expect a DS Pug team member here in this kind of situation. So I think the really late round impact, if it's even needed from 3 Dizzy, is going to be monumental.
Yeah, I feel like they should realize now that Furry Containment has walked up and are in the site right now. The smoke to have a safe defuse, perhaps. This eye tagging, and okay, they want to get these kills before just sticking the spike, but again, Irene, oh, this once again, just these situations. Kid gets one kill, but cannot get the other, and the Bug team reached their sixth scoreline.
And I'm really happy that 3 Dizzy just let the players A main, or sorry, B main, play out that post plant. Because now you don't know, unless, like I said, you're Badison, you know, the players that have played with this squad before, that they are, like, this lurk intensive, that they are this good at finding openings and capitalizing off of them, right? So they can do a very similar play to that in the later round and have that impact when it is needed, when it is make or break for a round of victory here. But for now, DS Pug team, a really important round to have won here. Furry Containment, kept in Containment for now. Not breaching double digits here, but Wire spotted out again. Still going to be granted possible 1v1, even pinged out the near site enough to save them, and they just go back. That Neon's so rough with the buffs.
Oh, Wire feeling on fire right now, just going and getting those kills. And the Vandal, it's so impressive. Okay, Irene though, just here in the front lines, trying to shut the S4 team down. They still will be able to get the plants.
Alright,
Yeah,
2v2. Repositions, probably though. Gonna try and spot those out. Sahant online as well here for Irene. So they're gonna have all this information. Oh, there it is. Celeste, for example, confirmed here in this backside position, but they got their turn to strike. Shock Dart, Recon. The paint shell is perfect, but it's still gonna place all this pressure on Bunny Bee. Oh.
Oh, the swing out. It was dealt with by Celeste. What a play. I mean, that looked like pretty even actually. It was 4-4, 3-3, 2-2. I could barely keep up with it, but yeah, the Pug team once again just win their second round back to back and leaving Furry Containment in a peculiar positioning considering their economy.
And these are 2 teams as well that I'm not sure if I see them kind of taking very hefty timeouts here, but this is where I might have wanted like a proactive one from Furry Containment Center. Just because they haven't won a rifle round, they're in another eco. Like, this is when things are going to start getting rough. And speaking of rough, Wire has not turned down the pace at all. Even facing down 2 players, they're still swinging. They're still sliding 100% accurately into a 3rd kill. In the meantime, there is some GCD action, but it's not going to alter the course of history. Not going to change this outcome because Spike has already made its way to the B site. They know, again, when to get into dodge. And I like as well that they're keeping economy, like the ult management in mind, right? Collect the orb, get the plant, Dizzy next round, you're probably going to get your neural theft. And this is just brilliant and showing how DS Pug team's thinking of the future.
Yeah, definitely. Now, once again, Irene, the only player left here, and so many corners to check actually. Because how do you like get past this? You know, while you're just running, the Spectrum could be anywhere right now, and they're all just like in one place. Oh wait, Irene, are you gonna attempt to get those kills instead of defusing the spike? What? Oh, it seems that way.
Yeah, I mean, this was an eco round, right, for Furry Containment, so they're going to be able to buy next round regardless, versus you're trying to keep DS Pug team's economy at bay because they just won 2 rifle rounds in a row. They're going to have winner's bonus, right? Like, you need to shatter this in the long run if you want to close this out, and unfortunately not being able to find any there is not going to look good. And this next rifle round, I think, is just as vital as kind of what we were seeing in our first best of 3 of the day. Like when I said like, oh, you lose this, like it's a comeback hour for DS Pug team. I mean, look at the ults for both sides. Like, this is the round, if there's any rounds where you need a timeout, right? Ults, guns, everything to lose here. The lead, and neither team is cracking under the pressure.
Yeah, 5 seconds and no timeout signal at all. Yeah, we're just going in this round with whatever we have here. 4 ults against 4 ults. And Wire, again, in the front line, is willing to just go in. And will she be able to catch this player here is the question. Madison seems to be safe so far, but Dizzy just gets the kill like that into Bunny Bee. A really late position here. Still 4-4, but so many ults being committed. Madison gets the 2 kills. Wants to make it a 3, and neural theft working in your favor. All of this utility just like wanting to swing out, but Violettle is there, and it all just turns against Furry Containment all of a sudden.
Ooh, and a 1v2 rotation being made.
Oh, and
manually.
of
Wait.
course, they have the ult.
Yeah, that's why. So they're just gonna be able to recover it here. But look at the
But
read as well.
yeah.
Terra like recognizes though they probably had Spike or they're trying to recover it. This would be funny thinking they're going back B and already had Spike under their control if they hadn't spotted it out, and they do in fact wait.
Oh my god.
They went back B, they actually stuck it. They probably heard the footsteps and now they have a crunch play. Now they have a flank on the flank.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I mean, if they're able to get the timing right on this, it would be the amazing. Terror now has so many corners to check because we don't know where these players are exactly. Gonna swip out that Guardian for Vandal. But still so much to do here. One market, one main. A tap on the spike maybe. Should be in effect, or even getting it to half. Oh yeah, the swing out gets 1 kill. Okay, expecting
What
it
a
in the
gamble.
wrong corner though. High Whittle gets the kill to remain and making the score even against Furry Containment.
And that is, number one, an insane gamble. But number two, now you take the timeout now.
Again, it is DS Puck team that takes the timeout.
Why does DS Puck team take the timeout? Like, this is when you're on a roll. This is the last time you should be stalling out your own momentum. But I need to touch, well, we have a second, on that last round. Because it shows why DS Puck team didn't take the timeout when I thought they were going to. Because they had such a decisive and well-crafted B-split plan right off of that Rolling Thunder. Like, it was so caught off guard for Furry Containment, and it's showing that Furry Containment Center is so just reactive based, and those reactions were really good, right? Like the Rolling Thunder, so Badass can hold on to B, the Bunny B showstopper that should have gone through mid. But again, like I said, that exec was planned down to a T. Like 3 Dizzy in tiles was also part of that plan, right? To cut off these rotations that were going to happen really fast when you're trying to repinch these players inside of market, and it just did not work. So I'm so curious as to what, you know, I don't know how to pronounce his name. I'm so sorry. You know, Mole in Blue or Moelle in Blue has to say here.
Yeah, I'm curious as well. Definitely. And yeah, just cutting down their momentum feels off, but I feel it is in good reason. Like, now that you know the score is even, it could just go like either way. Like, even though Furry Containment is in like a peculiar position considering their economy, they are still forcing this. They're still not letting the S-Puck team get ahead of them. And yeah, it should be, you know, it is a good point to just like reconsider the strategies in the end. Yeah, a really like dominant start was made on B main, as you may notice, but it's not the side that the S-Puck team wants to hit currently, it seems.
So here we go. Hesitancy, actually, more than anything, after their timeout here. I like the little neon fake,
No.
maybe, but Badison, just the tracking's insane, even after the trap wire has been destroyed. And I love this utility as well, right after the fact, like the aftershocks. So you're like, nope, nobody's getting a trade here either. And that's the paranoia as well, just like further confirmation. And the immediate rotation afterwards, right? You just saw an aftershock, you just saw a paranoia, you saw Badison get a kill, you're like, oh, there are for sure 3 on A. But look at how fast they have gotten over to this B site, right? Like, yes, the route is off site, but they can support their team from afar here as soon as contact is made with this owl drone. Oh, what?
Oh, Bunny Bee is up close and personal and actually gets a kill against an Odin, but cannot survive for long. Now 3v4, making it a
30 seconds left.
3v2 all of a sudden. The S-Puck team looking so good so far, but look at their positioning. They're still not going to be planting this B. They're just straight up rotating to A this time.
And I said this is something I was curious about as well from this team. I'm like, are you going to find information off of Dizzy and rotate? And that's exactly what they did twice this round, right? Like I said, off the utility invested on the A, they go B. Off of the, again, utility of the frags on B, they go back A. And as a result, they're being able to get this plant down consistently. And the question is, what is the conversion factor in the post plant when, oh my god, Odessica, it was all on you and you delivered. Perfect bodyguard for your teammate and perfect way for Furry Containment Center to finally put a stop to this streak of rounds and finally breach double digits this half.
Yeah. Well, that was like a 4 or 5 rounds where they couldn't, you know, keep up. I feel it was 4 rounds, but they kind of lost their momentum for a minute there, Sophie. And now it's like the question is, okay, like you have one round and now you have enough money to buy like full vandals, but can you keep it up is the question. And yeah, I'm just like curious to hear from you like what they should do to keep their performance up here.
Well, I think before we say that, I need to say what I think went wrong. And I think it's that the DS Pug team timeout worked against them. I think Furry Containment Center used that as their breather, their reset, and that's what allowed them to finally stall out that momentum. So I think DS Pug team, they just need to, you know, fall back into this aggression. I think I like, again, an informed rotation decision, but I think they're getting a little bit too wish-washy. And like I said, Furry Containment Center is a team that is very, very reactive, very, you know, well accustomed to having to go off on the fly. And that's exactly what they've been doing to win these rounds, right? Closing out in clutch situations and developing really creative flank plays like this. Bunny B, just satchel over it, please. But
oh, it will be hurt though. Okay, it's gonna be broken, and then the satchel play comes into play here. Oh, but with the stun, she has to be played this carefully.
you know, there's two there.
Yeah,
Both broke that bot.
Noted for sure, and Rain and Dizzy are just getting these kills, just trying to cement their positioning here. Rain, a spam through the boss, could be lethal here. Okay, but it's gonna swing out of it before Terra just shots her down. 3 kills on the spot here, and Dizzy tries to do something out of that frequency. I mean, as you said, so reactive, so adaptive, and they reached the 11th scoreline here.
And just, again, I feel like that round was interesting because, right, DS Pug team execed based on a set strategy. It got them the site control, but then one player messed it all up, and that was Bunny B, right? Like, yes, the reactions off the utility were on point, but they just kept the focus of those two players long for so long. And I feel like a really also important factor between these two teams has been the cycling of initiator utility, more so recon initiator utility, like Irene and Celeste. Like, they consistently are like pushing and pulling information from both of these squads, and Celeste was one of those players that was tied up trying to help for so long there excuse me, that they weren't able to stall out that retake. But now someone's turning up the dial to 11 because they want that 12th round. Rolling Thunder popped. A main is theirs.
Yeah, really good start for them, and meanwhile the SPOC team just losing wire at the start. Not a really feasible way to start everything. Oh, and the flash as well. Okay, this throws Bunny B off their positioning here, but still Irene is with them as well, and the whole team just slowly maybe rotating here. Okay, they're just waiting for all of this utility to go online right now, just cementing their positioning, and yeah, the rounds is about to start.
All right, there's 3 players here, like the little high-low action. I like the, I was gonna say I like the fade player, but they are not falling for it. They know Dizzy's still there. Irene, good. Still a 3v3. I need to see them disrespect this. Don't let Celeste get off site with that Hunter's Fury. That's exactly what they're trying to do. Or Baddison trying to get ahead of it, trying to, you know, play 4D chess and say, okay, they're gonna go off site, they're gonna play Hunter's Fury, I'm gonna get behind them. And now Jessica's a little bit late to the party. Baddison has to go huge here from this off position, but there has to be the alarm bells ringing. They have not seen this cipher for quite some time. Oh, there it goes. It's too late,
yeah,
though.
Before they can react, it is done already, but now Rain is left alone. It's a 1v1, and positioning is also accounted for. Okay, swings out the jump here. Okay, Baddison, what can you do? But back and forth, it's a game of hide and seek, and there's no time for defuse. Are you kidding me? Baddison, wow.
And I can imagine the chat messages already. They've been praising each other. They've been, you know, they've been letter spilling. The fact that everyone dies that round, I think, is a very fitting conclusion, because it was just, like I said, beautifully crafted from start to finish. And sometimes, even if your strategy is there, you get bested by a knife and some running away to the timer. Like, Baddison did everything that they could in that situation, right? Like, they play off the perfect paranoia from Odessica. They find, you know, Vettel, who is up on top. Like, that's gotta sting, because now DS Pug team has ult. They have a buy. You are a broken economy, and that would have been your map point. But here we go. Baddison, we've seen it before. Anchor this site. Do it again.
Let's see how they're gonna be able to face off against all of this utility and the full time as well. Just going online here.
Okay.
Oh, so much space being taken as well by Vire already.
And it's just these players swinging out without much support, and it's just Celeste insane, saying, I don't want to be a background character, I don't want to play my Hunter's Fury, I'm just gonna front and center fight these players as they funnel in one after another. And we are tied 11-11 here. And Furry Containment Center is going for kind of a half buy, kind of a forced situation here. Like, Terror is broken, even if they full save, it seems like. Bunny Bee, very similar situation here. So I'm really nervous that CS Pug Team is about to sweep this map out from under them. But silver lining here is that it is, I believe, DS Pug Team's map pick. So they're the ones that's destined to win it either way.
Definitely, they have been itching for this victory here. And now, all of the sides, they're gonna be focusing on mid, but actually, wait till getting the kill on the Madison. Just a really good start for DS Puck team. Like, from where they left off, the momentum is still kicking. There's still that force here, and just finding one kill after the other. Now, 2 initiators left alive. And also, you can see Wire just wrapping around mid just in case. Oh, it's gonna be... Okay, hard to break down this door though without being noticed. And yeah, okay, Wire is making their presence known here in Irene. Yes, a kill with the Sheriff. Oh, it's stormed down with so much utility. Oh my god, Irene and the 1v3s.
Feels like bullying, but the 1v3 is not complete just yet. No ninja diffuses though. These players are sticking around B main even if it'll cost them their lives, but nice little swing from 3 Dizzy here. Only to be able to save a Bulldog, but it might not matter. It's 12-11. Don't expect a very fruitful buy here either from FCC. So what do you change now if you're FCC here? Okay,
I feel like a timeout should be in order because they still have not taken their timeouts in the second half, and I mean, just really focusing on not being distracted could be like a nice idea, because you know when Wire goes in, there's a lot of like distraction happening for this team. And when you have the SPAC team also like sending out some players for like a flank or like another angle, it just all falls apart. So I feel like there are some like moments of like disjointedness within this team, but it could be like managed really easily because both of these teams are so good. I mean, 12-11, we've seen like such an even matchup so far for this map, and I feel like it could go either way.
Oh, we've yet to see this Hunter's Fury set up, and I said it, the DS Pug team really likes these concrete exec strats. I want to see, you know, Celeste let it rip and let Wire run it down off of that contact. But speaking of contact, Bunny Bee overwhelmed by a lot of util, beautiful swings. And just like that, they have found their opening, and they are trying to lock in on it. Speaking of openings, Celeste has just found another one here on the B site. So now it's question marks blaring. Where are these players? Where are we headed? And the player with all the answers is going to be... I feel like the team that doesn't even need the answers, DS Pug team now, just kind of trying to further solidify this victory.
Yeah, Nightfall to contest that maybe, but it doesn't tag anybody actually, which is really interesting. Now all of these plays have left side, and Dizzy will try to play off a curious angle here. Okay, this is the time to play Hunter's Fury for sure. Now you want the victory. Now when Furry Containment has to push for it. Oh no, Celeste, she's gonna be pushed up, isn't she?
Is there time?
And there's
Use terror? There could have been time, and now it's all gone. It was halved. That 1 second of hesitation cost them the game. 13-11. Terror is gonna remember that in their own nightmares, but for now they have lost map 1 of Sunset. Wow, that was 1 sec. No, yeah, that little pause and contemplation to run away and then realizing, that's insane.
Definitely. I mean, wow, that was so close. They did everything, and everything looks right. I was like, okay, now they're taking us to overtime. Now they have a chance to win the map actually, but apparently not. I mean, that was such an interesting round and a really good, like, interesting way to close out as like a bit. Sorry, what Sunset? For all.
For sure. Yeah. And I mean, I said that like this was kind of what is the word? A mosaic of players, right? Like we're in art class from these 2 masterpieces that have been teams competing consistently in the game changers scene. You know, like I said, Oomfies, Sad Frost, and it's definitely living up to that hype, that battleground as well. And our next map that we're going to be going to on Icebox, like I said, a map about to leave the pool, I think it's only gonna be spicier from what we've seen from these players and how they're, some of them are shifting to new roles, some are on their main roles, and I just cannot wait. So Jared, we can break things down more after the break or set up more for that chilly confrontation that we're gonna have in a map 2, but before that we do have to take a quick breather, a quick break. So when we come back, we'll see if our quarterfinals match here between Furry Confrontation Center and DS Pug team are gonna end in a 2-0 or if we're headed to map 3. Welcome back to class. We may be entering our last lesson of the day, or our last map here. Map number 2 of Icebox for the quarterfinals between DS Pug team and Furry Containment Center. I said it before the break, Jared, this was already going to be a close matchup. What do you think are the major differences between Icebox and Sunset and what we might see, and how can that maybe benefit the odds of us getting to a map 3?
Well, I feel like both of these maps are pretty, spaced out, and, it's just really important to especially watch out for like a mids, lurks, flanks, and I feel like both of these teams have been managing that's kind of dynamic in Sunset so good so far. But I mean, with an icebox, it's just the silences are really important, I think. And like having a sentinel to like camp down on like the sites that are not really, where you don't really have your players is really important. So I feel like I'm expecting to see like a really like good sentinel pick there, either a Cypher or a Killjoy. That kitchen turret setup that I really love. And yeah, I'm just like really expecting to see good like sentinel plays here mainly, but it's just gonna be an interesting way to see which team comes up as the victorious one here. Either they'll be taking us to map 3 or we'll be ending it 2-0. But what do you think about Icebox just coming from Sunset?
Well, we just got a major update to the maps as we take a look back at them, in that amidst the kind of name swap debacle and what maybe it had happened there, we learned that Sunset actually was Furry Containment Center's map pick. So now the narrative's a little bit flipped, right? Now it kind of heavily favors the idea of a DS Pug Team 2-0, right? Because they now won their opponent's map pick and are headed into their own map pick, right? And like I said, it's set in my mind, obviously, just a litmus test. Like, you make it to a map 3, it's just whoever plays cleaner Valorant at the end of the day, whoever's aiming better is going to win that 9 times out of 10, unless you do get that kind of M80 weirdness of a Deadlock Yoru. But I don't know if we'll get that in Radiant Academy of all places. But Icebox, what am I expecting? I really want to see maybe some double duelist action. Am I going to get that? I'd have to dive into the archives again because these are Pug squads. But a player, for example, like Battison, like, I know that they're playing Sentinel, which they're comfortable on, but I have seen them on the duelist, right? That is what they're playing for Sad Frost more recently. And so I really think that they could be really, really clean as a secondary duelist on this map.
Yeah, definitely. And with double duels, I have to agree with you because I really want to see like an ISO and a Neon. I've seen how interesting and like fun like those agent picks are, and especially like you've been talking about like a Euro pick coming in as well, like being like more popularized as we go on and like the map roster changes. So maybe we could see as like a Euro as well here. And with I feel like it's just like a really interesting like map that's gonna come up here.
No, for sure. And we are, like you said, getting ready for Icebox here. So in the meantime, I do think that, like, it's interesting because, like, in our last match, we did have Furry Containment Center play on Icebox, and they lost it as well in a pretty dominant 6-13, I should say, to Goldfish, which was also a really insane team. I'm not gonna lie. Like, they were also built, I think, to win this event. And they actually did run a double duelist. So look at that. Oh my gosh. I just know these inherently. I know these teams. I've embodied them, and it was intuition as well. I don't know if they're gonna replicate this, like I said, because map 1 was a little bit different, granted. Because they did have, like I said, this was also a reason for the roster shuffle, was they actually like subbed people in between map 1 and like 2 and 3. Like I said, like who was it that came in? Like, we had Bunny Bee come in, for example, and Bunny Bee is a duelist, so Battison might have just been filling their role, versus Terror was the one that might be that flex player that goes to a secondary duelist, especially because they were on the Reyna. So it might be Battison on could still get relinquished to a separate role, but they ran was a Reyna, Jet, Sova, Viper, Sage, which is really bold in my opinion because you don't have that kind of flank control. So I think we're gonna have a heavy lurk presence, maybe from your Reyna, from Terror, or from someone else. But aside from that, no clue what we are getting ready for, as we probably are doing some R checks in the lobby. But if that's the composition I posed to you, I already pointed out some weaknesses. What do you think would be a good comp to counter that?
So you said Sage, Sova, Viper, right?
Yeah, and then Reyna, Jet.
Reyna?
Yeah.
Wow, okay. The double duels, I wasn't expecting Reyna and Jet as a double duelist. You have like these agents where it's like, okay, Jet is like a given for like most of the teams, like Raze and Neon. But then when you have like the other agent being a Reyna, is like brings like so much to the table because it's not really explored usually within like high like tier competitions like this. But I mean, I think to counter that, I mean, I do love my ISO fix, and maybe like even if we don't have like a double duelist to counter that, maybe having a really good solid like duelist pick and a sentinel and maybe like a double controller maybe could be a good idea. I mean, I know that the other teams kind of like just could go in for the double initiator as well. I'm not certainly expecting like a double duelist, but
Dang, that's fast.
yeah, I mean, before you could even speak about it.
Ooh,
Oh, let's see. Odasaka.
this is interesting. This is interesting. Okay, so number one, I gotta point this out. DS Puck Team has not played Icebox this event. I actually went back and looked into the group stage and their previous best of 3 in the round of 16. So this is their debut, and they are actually the ones going for the double duelist. Which Rain, I need to point out, was actually a duelist player back in the SNG days, if I remember correctly. So I think this is maybe a little bit more up their alley. We've already seen Wire on the duelist, but the fact that Terra is running solo duelist here is wild to me. Because like I said, to me, you have like some really good candidates for the duelist pick, like Bunnyby, like Battison. So like Terror, like I said, was majorly just this initiator flex player for Oompies. So they're just using Radiant Academy as, again, an opportunity to try out new roles, maybe show off their other role flexibility chops. Because like I said, again, the off season's a time for you to get scouted for any organizations that may be looking to invest in the game changer scene. So if they pop off here to send us to a map 3, that would be a really good thing to highlight for this player. But aside from that, I think they, like I said, maybe overcooked with the last composition, as I mentioned, or like I said, there were some substitute players stepping in that might have shaken things up that go around. So they definitely went back to a more traditional sense here.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. And just, I mean, the double. I just can't get my mind off like the double duelist comp they have here. Like exactly like you said, Jet and Reina. And yeah, I mean, the rest of the composition looks like pretty even to me. And I was expecting a Killjoy in Icebox specifically. But wow, I mean, I'm really interested to see like how they will like manage that double duelist comp. Maybe having Wire initiate in A, meanwhile Rain just try something in B, and they try to like keep the keep the other team in their duels. But let's see. I think. But what do you think about like Furry Containment's composition against the SPOC team currently?
Like I said, I think both of these are fairly kind of accepted on this map. Like, there's a lot of, I think, like, analysts that aren't favoring the double duelist or the random pick, period. But I think maybe then your KO could be a really good counter for that kind of play, like, especially once DS Pug team's on the defense. Like, you don't want to be going aggressive if you could be staring down a 0 pointer. That could have stopped them from doing that. But for now, what it does on this half is only embolden their own duelist. Terror scales up, does disengage eventually because of that Sova utility, but all that information now just pulls an additional rotation over, and that additional rotation has been dealt with.
Oh, okay. Terror actually tried to get a pick there with the Sheriff. It doesn't quite commit, but second time is a charm here. Liar is able to get back at them as well, and Bad is now left alone, only with a Ghost. I mean, the pistol rounds, it's just goes to DS Puck team currently. And in a dominant fashion as well. I wasn't expecting them to be, so like getting inside that early and just ending the round.
And I will say, Terra, putting up a good resume. I was gonna say at the get-go, finds a frag, holds onto that site pretty nicely with the Deagle for enough time for their team to get over there. But just again, the sheer scaling there. And wow, look at the confidence of this buy here. 2 Vandals as well. Complementing that with Wire. I really like this idea because then, 101, suddenly you can just murk the rest with the Vandal spray down, but interesting enough, they're letting the Marshally the charge, the thoroughness of the Owl drone clear. Again, they're not convinced because they don't know if this was a gamble stack on B. Fortunately, it was a gamble stack on A, so this site's going to be pretty much deserted, minus maybe some Killjoy utility, just so you can maybe deny this plant. But I love the shock darts. You get rid of that, you terraform it for yourself. And now here comes the flood in. Is it gonna be good?
Okay, Rain trying to get some picks here. Okay, can we just get her out of their life alive? But still, no kills found quite just yet. And Bunny B is still here with the Sheriff getting shots, and Dizzy just watching out, so aware of this flank. But did she turn at the right time is the question. Irene's lurk is just paying off in the end, and Bunny B with a 3-piece just secured the round. Wow, I mean, just one after the other. It feels like but what both of these teams have is just like so back and forth.
Unfortunate.
And wow, I said, is the flood gonna be good? And sometimes the GCDs are going to hit. The fact that it was almost flawless as well definitely turns this map on its head for sure. I mean, now we've gotten spiciness like twice in a row from, I don't even know if it was this team then or if it was DS Pug team that forced. I think it was then technically this team that forced last time when they lost the pistol and then were able to turn things still like at the half. But this is okay. They've collected that very expensive buy up, which was the double vandal, right? And so their bonus is just as strong as a buy would have been, right? Versus now the ones with the deagles that have to strike back are gonna DB DS Pug team.
Yeah, quickly making their way to mid right now. I wonder if they're counted for. There's no killjoy utility to be tagging them. It is now placed in kitchen, but a second too late, I think. And okay, Wire, her positioning isn't expected at all. Okay, finding the kill, a little bit G3 right there, but there's still one more player to account for here. And Irene with the 2Ps, amazing to contest the pressure here. And Odasaka still in kitchen, not anymore. Celeste also with the sheriff. I've been seeing so many sheriffs on this map now.
Well, the Vandals still haven't had their opportunity to shine. Rain I don't even have you for the gun search. I have no clue. Yeah, but Madison actually opened up the opportunity by falling off. 3 Dizzy got it.
Yeah, gun was looking shiny. Okay, but Dizzy tried to get something out of that, but it just doesn't work here. And they got the Vandals as well, I believe. And it seconds score goes to Furry Containment Center. But yeah, I feel like DS Pug team is still gonna be forcing their way and wanting to make this count. But do you think what they did in mid was good?
Well, it definitely caught their opponents off guard, and I think that's a major defensive gap that's been now exploited as well with the simple smoke onto boiler. So we're gonna see, I think, it help more so for containment and the adjustments that they're gonna make, especially since now is when I think we're gonna get to some of the important rounds, right? Like things are gonna go really wonky from the start if you get, like I said, like a second round force or a second round thrifty, and now once things start to stabilize, that's when things matter, and that's when an entry like this from Rain is going to be really important. They've identified the Sova as well, force them to retreat. So this is going to be an open A site, and we get to see what DS Pug team looks like when they have space and how much they want to push forward.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, quick retake should be coming in here, and they're all falling back actually, letting DS. Okay, sorry, Furry Containment Center having the site here, and Terror is just willing to push forward and get those kills one after the other. Dash was still active, so much utility being showered in her face, but it doesn't phase her at all. Getting kill after kill, and the 3Ps to on the way to victory as well, just running it, gunning it down.
Back to work.
All right, Terror. All right. I know I said you needed to build your resume for the duelist role. You know, move it up in your little tier list of comfortability, but that was nutty. And Bunny B as well, right? Like I said, who's normally in the spotlight, normally on that duelist role, just baiting for them beautifully there so they can find the frag and secure the round. Like, this is the team that looks I think, a lot more disciplined than what we saw over on Sunset in particular. Very well rounded, nicely done. And I don't know, like DS Pug team also looks different. Like I feel like this composition, like you expect them to be up in your face, like I said with the double duelist, but they fell back and played the post plant and conceded a lot of space that they really got for free. But now, before you can even adjust to what currently is being done by Furry Containment Center, they've went and changed the game. They bought an operator.
An operator in mid as well. Oh, it's gonna be really interesting, but it is heard. Yeah, turret is destroyed at least. But yeah, now the Spark team knows that Furry Containment Center has an op to play with. Okay, and Bunny just on the count of 4, but cannot make the shots count in the end. Oh, and the operator falls as well. Okay, this just goes so in favor for the Spark team. So close to be a flawless round here. Baddison once again, just like the pistol round. Just the last person left alive here.
And what did I say? I said I wanted them to keep that, you know, deep sight control. That's exactly what they did. Most of these corpses littered around screens, the space that they fought for. Pretty effortlessly, considering it was a flawless 3-2. Like I said, once rifles you get into the mix, it's going to be a matter of who can set up consistency first. And it looked like Furry Containment Center was about to breach that threshold, and now they might be getting thwarted here a little bit. Operator actually collected, perhaps, and is going to be put forward. This is interesting.
Yeah, and yeah, I was really wanting to see that count because they had just the right setup to make it count, you know. Wanibi was unaccounted for when the SPOC team was entering the site, and the ops like positioning as well in mid. Oh, I feel like it was just a matter of timing, and right now as well, why it's just like so clear of Terror just like wanting to play this aggressively and getting kill after kill until being shut down here. Oh, it's working out so well for them. Until Wanibi steps in and has said something about it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, roll swap's not going to change your mechanics, not going to change your aim. Even on the Sova, they have the capabilities of holding down this site alone. So they just take the duels, they fend off this Killjoy. And now, I mean, it's a 2v3. They're just waiting for someone to make a mistake. And I don't quite think they know the operator is in play, so it's going to be a lethal one when Bunny Bee finally slips up. Question is, do they know the other two are still here?
I believe it should be expected now. Killjoy playing up close, destroyed that utility, but still Battison is up in heaven, and they have to be aware of this. The Soxys are up, and isolated fights here just count, and Rain has to grab up that Vandal. 30 seconds on the clock. Oh, it has to find the kills here with Battison again, just the repositioning. It's just they're so aware of the fights that they want to take, and they're so good at committing to that.
And, I mean, obviously, Killjoy utility was online there, man. So, like you mentioned, they know the Killjoy's home. But Battison, as you previously mentioned, was always that last player standing, rotating really late from the B site. So what do you expect? For them to still be on the B site that late into the round, right? Or at least playing close enough to hear the sound cue. So the fact that they are in such a volatile position like Heaven completely disconstructs that round for DS Pug Team and a potential turnaround off of that operator kill onto Bunny B. So 4-2, Furry Containment Center. I said it, consistency was going to be key, and they have thwarted that attempt from DS Pug Team this go around. A blip on the radar, they reset the instruments, and continue trucking on forward. And this round is going to be huge. Both teams rifles, both teams ultimates. Already Empress popped. Suppression could be everything, like I mentioned before. The null command is online, and this is going to be perfect to retake this site.
Yeah, definitely. And it will go online slowly. Furry Containment, they're letting the SPOC team have the site for now, but the Hunter's Furry is going to go online, willing to tag one player and even kill her. Is he now left down, but the SPOC team's still alive and kicking here. Oh, it's going to be really hard to manage this on your own, and it's just not enough in the end. The SPOC team, one step behind, one step forward.
And zero fear of the null command there. You know, as soon as they get down and you're down another person because Bunny Bee is trying to Hunter's Fury, everything is thrown awry there, and heavy dependence is placed on players like Terror, who unfortunately just weren't able to deliver on the blades. So again, we talk about it, right? You invest so many resources and not walking away with the round victory is going to be rough versus TS Pug Team. Even though the Empress didn't do much, right? That's one ult down. They still got 4 to go. And this is a team where, like, normally, like, oh, sometimes there's an Omen ult. Like, sometimes there's these ultimates that don't have round-defining impact. I look at all of these ultimates for DS Pug Team, and I see huge potential.
Yeah, just like you said, they're just set up for victory here if they play their cards right. And just talking about it, they have already the lockdown online, and Rain and Yvetzel just going in with these kills. Bunny Bee just like in a popular position, the swing out, only good for 1 kill. And once again, for Containment, they're just left down to 2 players, a Killjoy and the Viper, but now it's much more harder to manage.
And I said it prior, I don't like the style of composition, falling back, playing off-site, playing the post plant. When you got double mollies on, when you've got a Hunter's Fury, sure, go for it. Because you still got Rain, tear it up a storm from long, but you gotta let Battison sneak through. They're gonna try and save these ultimates, rescale into sight. You gotta be careful, don't give them these 1v1s, and Battison doesn't realize there's one behind them! Oh,
it's just brutal because Battison, that was such a good initiation onto the side, just going in fearless of the positionings. But yeah, I mean, again, Bunny Bee's position was just Seth's position was just not really expected.
And as they play that out, like you mentioned, very, very dicey there, but ultimately they went out the round here. So again, neither team able to breach consistency. It feels like a back and forth affair. And I mean, we're staring down the potential of a 6-6 half here at the moment, right? DS Pug team. This is their opportunity, I think, to finally get like more than 2 rounds in a row because this is a Thrifty for Furry Containment Center. But Thrifty is what started this chaos in the first place. And if you don't clear your corners, this is what happens.
Oh my god. Gonna be really daring, going in with 2 kills with the Sheriff and just making her shots count until the last moment. 3 kills, enough damage done already to DS Pug team. And just keeping on here now, their positioning is also revealed. They know that they're here. Oh, it's just a matter of timing. Wire still alive, but suffered some HP damage. Has to clear corners out carefully. It just does not work now. Dizzy left alone. Still has a spike, but not much else. It was a thrifty round won by Furry Containment.
What did I say? A Thrifty got DS Pug team into this mess, and it's gonna keep them in the weeds of it. What a insane play from Bunny B there. Like, I feel like so many times, more often than not, you see like the player jail get cleared out, get completely dropped when they overswing, but just, you know, tucking away, waiting for the opportune time to strike, and they do for sure. Like, not 1, not 2, but 3 players there. And I said it, 3, it's kind of the magic number right now. There was the 3 rounds from Furry Containment Center earlier this half, and there's not been a repeat since. And I think DS Pug team, right? They still have like some weapons. So this again is gonna be a determining round, and that's not a good start.
Yeah, and Adasaka just being ready for the Reina hits with the turret as well. Just so much damage done already. But the numbers are even so far, 4-4.
Alright.
The spike is still A. You might notice, you know, the S-Pug team, I believe they haven't really, like, other than 1 or 2 rounds, they haven't really gone B. Like, it seems like A is much more of their favorable side.
But they should not go B right now. Do you see what I see? I see it bad as sin. Oh my goodness. I thought they were going to be in a huge position just to tuck away, and they were going to walk past, and we're going to see a Bunny B incident repeat. But they've cut their losses. They've communicated it to their team. And they can probably hear the feet shuffling at them at mock speed as well. So now you can try and get your teammates back over to the site. And I wanted to see the Killjoy rotate more than anybody.
What? The shock dart was just out.
No clue.
Reach there. Okay, but we're focusing on what's here and what's here.
Go back A? 30 seconds?
Okay.
You do?
No way.
Oh my goodness, and I was gonna say, Odessica, if they won that, this round would have been over. There would have been no time to get back onto the site. It might not be over just yet. I think we need to see Wire survive here. That's why they're playing so cautiously, just waiting on the screens, waiting for an opportune time to strike from this off angle. Here we go. Spike, gonna go down pretty seamlessly. And this is where things become difficult. When you got a Viper's Pit, like I said, Furry Containment Center, they're trying to fend this team off from that 6th round. They want this round with all their being. They might have just needed all the resources they can use.
Oh yeah, and Terra going in, but V-Vessel is just so ready for this. And now, last person left alive here, Dadison, walking right into the Viper's bed and down. Now, 5-5. We're even once again.
And I mentioned that was a very creative look for DS Pug team. I feel like working the map a little bit more kind of inclined to rotate, which I feel like we saw a lot of that from them over on Sunset, and hasn't happened here on Icebox just as much, because I think it's kind of just common knowledge. Like, sometimes it does just boil down to Fight Simulator over on A, which is what they started this round with. But for Furry Containment Center, I think they also had some really smart rotations. But what we needed from them, like I said, were for Odessica to survive. They had a lockdown that was gonna be the key to either site retake, and they fell. And I think that's gonna be a similar situation here, right? They are that mid player, and they are playing so dangerously, being that player to search down, send the expedition mid. With Battison falling, this B side defense should be cracked wide open.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, Bunny B is still here, but still has to do so much here, and Skilljoy 2 does not deny the plant at all.
Because they're too close. They would be in so much danger. The Reina would have just pushed them. Here's where they can use it. Pressure, allow your team to scale up and just cull the herd. Take them down a few pegs so your teammates can win the duels, but they're up against Yvel. That's not going to happen.
Oh, this does not look favorable at all for them. It's just run and gun. They're shutting it down here, the S-Pug team. Another flawless round for them.
And I
Just
mean,
no words to say. I mean that side initiation was just wonderful. Wire going in with the knives and everything was just up to par. You know, they didn't let like at the we saw on the map just as it started last round. FCC just established a really good control over mid, but then they chose not to go for the flank, which I believe it is just when it all fell apart because they were losing the site and they were losing control over so many places, and yeah, it just didn't end up working out in the end.
And all right, so what are we gonna get? A 7-5 half for DS Pug team, or a third thrifty for Furry Containment
my
Center?
God.
If they're not
Body
gonna clear out a
B?
corner again. Body B,
Oh
a
my
routine
God.
incident, and it's the same victim.
Oh my god!
No.
3 kills is amazing. And it's just what makes it count right now. The S-Pac team is only left down to Dizzy. Oh, these 1v3 situations, we know him, but Dizzy, how well can you manage this? Knives and a lockdown at your face. Just being stored with so much agility and so many angles. They're now, once again, even. Zombie, I wouldn't be surprised at this point if this reached overtime.
Oh my goodness! Like, we gotta cut them some slack, all right? It's 11:30 on the East Coast. You know, they've been playing a lot of Valorant today. I think one of these teams, even like I said, went to a map 3 earlier as well. So not clearing corners, it's gonna happen. But the way that Bonnie Beezy would make it catastrophic like that is just insane here. And Terror, right? The Duelist debut is also going well. So. Overtime, I don't know. I feel like right now the mental and DS Pug team's camp has gotta be constrained. So I really want to see like an ace or an insane clutch for DS Pug team, because right now it just feels like they're just like getting by, if that makes sense, right? Like when it feels like there's those pivotal rounds that I mentioned are like make or break where Furry team would pull ahead like inevitably. Those are the rounds they finally win, right? It's never been a sense of consistency here. So I'm hoping maybe the side swap and being on the defense will kind of require that of them, but also it's double duelist on defense, so that's not even in the nature of their composition.
Oh yeah, they have to, just play this aggressively. Again, Madison finding his opening. A really fatal mistake to start the pistol round out with one player down already. It's gotta be detrimental now. On his Madison finding another player here. Dizzy, what's happening? They're just not aware of these pushes at all. Madison's still alive, still unaccounted for. Are you kidding me? Wire is able to get one more kill on Terror, but I mean the damage just seems to be down at this point, unless something crazy happens with Wire and Celeste. Their positioning seems really good so far.
Yeah, I mean, I was about to say, gotta clear that. Would have been an easy one and done, but unfortunately it's a one and done for Furry Containment Center as they take that pistol round. Again, just huge showing on over mid control for Madison, finding not one but 2 of those players. And I don't know if it was just a miscom about turret being destroyed, if turret was placed elsewhere, but regardless, a major gap there exploited and leveraged beautifully here. No force up from DS Pug team here, just gonna respect the buy on their opponent's side here. Bulldogs, Outlaw. This is one of those maps that an Outlaw is lethal here. And Bunny B is taking one to the A site. Let's see if they can go shooting.
Yeah, let's see him. Outlaw. Okay, escaping the recon dart here. Wise, I don't believe anybody was spotted just yet. Now the SPAC team doesn't really have the best of guns to deal with, whatever FCC has in store for them. And right now it just seems to be just exploring. They're already deep into A, but they don't like the silence as far as I can tell. Because the spike is just about to be rotated off to B.
I don't know if that's the end strategy. Do you see where Madison is? It looks like we're going for another lurk special, or even just an impact frag here onto the Viper, who was unsuspectingly pushing up, I think. Just got the orb dipped, rotated to the B site, correctly so as well. So this is a huge frag. Don't get greedy. Don't go for the Guardian, because the team is right behind them. There it is. The gun conceded, being shuffled away. They'll say, we'll take you a trade for the Bulldogs, but they're still thinking that they're going to go for it. And the offering has been denied. They take the spike. They take a player as its charge, and it's a 2v3 now. Like I said, they are headed... A? No?
No.
30 seconds
I
left.
believe their anchor is already lost in A, so they kind of like lost their opportunity, and 25 seconds are left on the clock. Going to a side you're not sure of is just not good, and Bunny B is able to get those
standing.
kills here. Odesaka as well with the Guardian. Now the tables have shifted. 14 seconds on the clock. They should be able to get the plant down. Now, Wired
10 seconds left.
alone.
What?
What
Yeah,
can you do?
Madison had a bulldog with that solo lurk through A. So this is very, very winnable here. They just gotta isolate their fights, and unfortunately Bunny B, right, kept that outlaw concealed since they did that nasty shot on the killjoy with the ghost. And I think the comms were really, really nice there. And I think that's what really gave Furry Containment Center the edge, because they recognized, like, I think that's why they stayed on B, was Rain was super low HP, right? And even though Bunny B takes that really dangerous peek over towards default, instead of dealing with yellow control from Rain, they communicate it to Odesaka, and they deal with it instead beautifully.
Definitely. And now, have you noticed, Bunny B had the chance to pick up the Bulldog. They didn't. They still have the Outlaw to play with this round.
Because look, it's 5 light shields! I would too!
Definitely. And
Oh.
yeah, okay, Baddison. Oh,
Oh.
this angle. I love this play by Baddison here. Rain has no idea, and they've just walked like past each other. Oh, this is absolutely cinema. This is cinema.
But are they gonna swing spawn? Are they gonna catch these 2 players? They're
Oh.
watching mid. I thought they were watching B main, thinking there could have been a timing off that toxic screen. But this Madison, are they going back?
Oh, this could go either way, honestly.
Wait, they're danger pinging it. They're actually clearing all of garage.
Oh my god.
Clear your left, please.
Madison, Madison! No, not able to find it at all here. Rain just walked up past her defenses. You know, fortune start for them, but now it means action for FCC, and they'll be getting the first kill down. But Fire is still alive and kicking, getting 3 kills. 18 HP, make it a 4. What are you talking about? Yes, Bug Team. I mean, Fire on the front lines, unless you deal with them, just still, like, it's so dangerous to go against this team as well. We've been talking about, you know, how they haven't, you know, played their best in this map, but still, like, Wire is just making these plays and just, like, confusing me, honestly.
Sorry, my jaw is still dropped at the opening frag from Rain. Like, yes, Wire 4K, mwah, chef's kiss, gets that DS Pug team back in the saddle, and. But 2 things. One, Baddison has been just an insane player, so shutting them down that early is huge. But also, like, we did a Formula 1, like, reaction test stat, because that flick, just, like, the reaction more than the aim, is insane in the peripheral vision.
Amazing.
Like, either way, that's the kind of, like, round, like I said, that we needed from DS Pug Team to reset the mental in this camp, to revitalize confidence, that a composition like this needs to be successful. And it so far, I was going to say it worked, but a 1-for-1 trade here, it's going to be huge.
Oh,
Wire?
Wire
Leads.
going so high, but not quite finding anybody. Having to land on the ground.
Okay.
Oh, this retake should be imminent, I was gonna say, but it just all goes down, and Madison finding kill after the other. Now, again, with these teams, it just seems so back and forth.
Yeah, like I said, 3 is the magic number right now. Ever since that kind of that streak in the first half, we have not had another run of rounds here from either squad. And we're just getting to the rifle rounds of this half, which is what's so crazy about it being 9-7 here this half. And while Ray didn't really get the chance to pop off that round because they were contemplating the flank, like they pushed through a main, they now have the Empress online. So hoping to see them make a move here, but for now they're on the opposite side of the map. Maybe they actually continue and commit to the scale through.
Yeah, but no, I definitely think that, you know, the favorable side for Furry Containment is right now B, and knowing this, yes, Pug team has set up for that, but now they don't have their smokes anymore, and all this killjoy utility will have to be used to deter them. Madison, this lurk play is just amazing. If she is able to catch it,
There's
but
no
still,
killjoy
yeah.
utility.
Oh, this action is gonna be online here, so let's say catches up. That's like a... Oh my god, 4v4, making it 3v4 here. Reina, so good with these kills. And Wire to follow it up as well. Now, Madison. Okay, left alone in this equation here. 1v2 against 2 duelist stack here. What can you do? Oh, the swing out. chip damage. Waiting for the swing out is able to deal with wire. Oh, but the positioning of the brain gonna be so hard to focus on. Oh, it's a game of hide and seek, and she knows how to play it. Madison manages that situation beautifully, winning free containment yet another round.
Wow. I mean, yeah, you said it, right? Madison treating that round like recess. Hide and seek champion here on the playground, breaching double digits for Furry Containment Center. They're like, yes, you may have gotten a nasty flick on me the round prior, but I walk away with a really important round for my team with that clutch. And I had my eyes on Madison, right? Because that was a huge gamble from Madison, right? To continue their journey through defender spawn instead of going back, right? To clear out Rain after they got that initial frag. Because they knew it was happening, right? And they just said, nope, stay where you are. Don't refrag it. It's fine. We'll deal with it later. And even though that allowed Wire to scale up and set up that 2v1, they trust in Madison. Like in Madison, we trust, and for good reason. Because now, 10-7, these players are on their last leg economically, so plays like this are so... they're not warranted.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, it's just so unfortunate to start with already. Yes, Puck team. I mean, not even 20 seconds into the round. Now they're left with 2 players. And now they're sucking up B, the wrong side to be in. And you can see for Containment, they're already into side already. So the side is lost. You don't have the players necessary for the retake. And you're so far away from the side you need to be. It's just not looking good at all. And you have the Hunter's Fury to play against as well. It's just not looking so favorable, honestly. And Terra's slowly walking up, and Dizzy will be caught from both sides here.
If Dizzy didn't fall there, this would have been feasible. But no weapons collected. Odessica just holds their ground. An 11-7 here. I talked about finally breaking out of the mold, breaking that curse, and look who has done it. Furry Containment Center, right? Now they have the money, they have the ults. This is another make or break round, and this is like, again, where I say this is where I would take a timeout if I was DS Pug team, right? This round is so important, right? You're 2 off from Viper's Pit, 1 off from the Blades, you have the Empress, 1 off also from Hunter's Fury. Like, everything is about to come online with your buy. Versus you lose this round, you're going to have those resources, but without any weapons to back them up. And it'll be on your opponent's map point.
Yeah,
right.
Just an opportunity lost, unfortunately. And okay, the Empress is online as well, but it is not the side that it needs to be necessarily. FCC, they're gonna be hitting the A side this time. On Wire, the Dart hasn't been covered just in time, but they still are able to get the kill. And Lockdown though is gonna be setting the F back, and Madison should be able to get the plant here.
Or they should, because there's still Hunter's Fury in the mix. It goes down. Madison not necessarily sacrificed just yet here. And here
they
we
still
go.
have the
This is
Viper Spit.
Yeah, this is such a hard retake because of that factor. Like, at least your Slova's alive. They drone it out, they clear it out, but they still have not located the prime suspect numero uno. And now they finally have. Viper Spit's gonna fall. You gotta be prepared for the aftermath that's gonna follow. The toxic screen goes up, and so does the Hunter's Fury come out. The scale up not quick enough though. The time is of the essence. Odessica's still alive, and unfortunately just the bodyguards are there, but not from Belt. It's halved. They're good.
Oh my god.
Sigh of relief.
Yeah, and with 3 seconds to save as well. A really good retake by the S-Pug team. I mean, that's the way to counter the Viper Split was really, really good. And to predict that Viper would be standing on top of the blocks, I mean, that is just another level of premonition.
All right. An 11-8, still how it stands here. 3 is just the curse, I guess, right? Like, you can't even get more than that at this point. Thought it was going to finally be the nail in the coffin, what finally turns it around here, but one more round and DS Pug team is probably staring at a tied game here because they need one more to reset, you know, FCC's economy here as well.
And going in, the A side right now for Containment still is aching to get around here. They do not let that round phase themselves at all, and Irene is able to get a kill. The Wire just dashing in with the knives. What are you talking about? Wow, I mean, the damage is already done to Furry Containment, but still, wow, but that was really a fast round. But Madison now has to face the world again, the 1v3s we love here at Radiant Academy. But this stack is just really hard to play with. Rain now. Okay, this pixel should be spotted out of place, and yep, Madison gets the first kill. But now her positioning is accounted for. The spike is also out of reach. Oh, what can you do here?
Raidiant is they're so smart in these situations. They're used to being in high impact situations. This map in particular, it's another one. That point on the line where your economy is broken. And I like the DS Pug team after Rain has fallen says, all right, buddy system up. We cannot sacrifice splitting up here. Nice snake bite just to try and kind of set themselves up for a cover here onto the spike. But the free fire off the alarm bot should have been clean. The swarm grenade. Oh my goodness. That's narrow. 12 seconds left. Don't lose your edge. Don't lose your nerve. Just let them.
Oh, Spencer, this box should do it actually. And Dizzy is just gonna go for it. Oh, really unfortunate. I mean, the lack of timing has to do with that. But now, for Containment 2 rounds down, they're gonna be losing their advanced economic state against the SPUC team.
And that's just like, I feel like such a cinematic moment as well, because Madison and 3Dizzy, right, are the players that were playing on the same team in the last qualifier, I believe, under Sad Frost. So the fact that it comes down to a duel between the two of them is just what makes it now to 11-9. A force buy, actually. I saw the economy, and I didn't think that they were going to go through with it here. They're just trying with all their might to get past this finish line, which is very interesting and very, very risky instead of just going for a full-on save and commit. But they think they can do it.
Yeah, if they cannot get this round down, they are risking it to become, like, even. Like, because once you're eco, like, the round is just like 70% lost. Okay, and Madison just making good use of the Vandals. I've seen like a duelist actually.
Whoa. Nice little duel for backside control. I didn't think that an important round like this would end in an all-out duel, an all-out brawl here over towards B. But again, you least expected, the Outlaw is going to strike. And Yveltal has been kind of a sleeper character, right? I feel like when they go B, they usually get first blooded, and then suddenly, like, you have none of that utility. But the fact that they fall back, they stay alive in one of the last two remaining, and get to close out like that off of the threat that is the Outlaw, that's exactly what DS Pug team needs. Every player on this team to step up when they need to. And that's what gets them to double digits. That's what, again, puts them in this one-round differential. In Furry Containment Center, they didn't learn their lesson. They're forcing again!
Yeah. Oh my goodness. It's just not really looking favorable, the strat, but we'll have to see what they do with it. And once again, they're going to be trying to go B because A has not worked out in their favor so far. And the SPUC team just like looking really, really solid. And Terror just, oh, not being able to catch Wayne actually. Oh, just taking the orb and just getting out of there. Crisis averted so far. Okay, Dizzy gets another kill into Bunny Bee actually. Interesting.
They have lockdown too.
Oh yeah, this is looking so good so far for them.
Oh, Irene finding Celeste though. Back to a 2v2. You have no command. You gotta be recognizing this fact.
No way.
Don't take these chances when you don't have to. 1v2. Spike down. Look, high-low setup. This should be it.
Oh no. Okay, spots the double players here. Oh, okay, tries to swing out. Was just her against the world here.
Rain's in such a good spot.
Oh my god, Rain again with the positioning is just amazing. Like how they can they're able to set up this crossfire situation, and how Rain is about to outsmart them like in these when it matters the most. I'm just like, wow, like to lose 4 rounds consecutively against the SPUC team, that's just like a little mistake, and forcing your way through, it just does not work. And you can see on the map they still want to go to B site.
And they're still forcing, like, other than Terror. And that's because they are one off from the Blades. So they full shield, deagle up, and say, okay, get my first blood, I get an orb, we're good to go. And Rain is going to try and play spoiler here for that exact fact. But, I mean, when you got a little 0 point in the mix. You gotta respect it. You gotta fall back, concede that space, but the blades come online as a result. And this is what I do like from DS Pug Team. They have played so passively these last few rounds, and have been playing retake. It's very reminiscent of Kitty Tactic from earlier today, and it's been working for them. But here it is again. That concession leads to ult upon ult investment for Furry Containment Center here.
Oh.
Pit is up, but they're still not winning duels until Irene finally shatters the silence. And unfortunately, it's the opponent's side to strike right back.
Oh, it just goes down. 4v4. Oh, both lockdowns are online at this point. And it's just like not being able to be breaking. They both have to fleet side. Now, the Spark team, they're locked down, going in late. Oh, but they're not. Wire gets the kill, but it's only good for one. A tap on the spike. Oh, the second is still here on a count of 4 actually. A counter Viper split, walks into it and walks right into the trap. The Spark team is onto their match point.
Okay. That was clean. That was clean. I'm like, there's so many ultimates getting invested, and I think the real hero that round, other than the immediate like responsive Viper's Pit there when it's the 2v2, truly is Wire, right? You get the lockdown from Dizzy. You know exactly where these players have to be, and it's in that little cubby. So you dash onto yellow, you deal with them. And even though Irene is able to kind of go slip through the cracks a little bit, you still keep it under control here. Finally, like I said, consistency was going to be queen, we'll say, this game. In 11-12, they finally reach now series point. And they've gotten the first blood.
Oh, yeah. Oh, again, the second blood as well. Just go. I mean, there's not even space to cast this anymore. It's just going forward, and look at the space that the S-Pug team has taken over towards mid. They're just cornering Furry Containment at this point. Just Irene already down to 4 HP and trying to do something with the Guardian, but instead it's going to be leaving on the second alone until it just goes down. A full with strand to finish it off. The S-Pug team are the victorious for today.
Wow, 13-11, a 2-0 victory here for DS Pug team to join Lil Pups and potentially 2 other teams in those semi-finals. Just insane close out there, because again, everything was going for Furry Containment Center. And it was their opponent's map pick as well after losing map number 1, and it really just came down to number 1 didn't take any timeouts. We saw so many really good timeouts, it felt like, over on Sunset, and then nothing here. And then also, like I said, that just back-to-back force buy situation, instead of just taking a breather, taking a save, that could have set them up for success for that final sprint that they needed to get us to Ascent, which, like I said, is a litmus test and be a heck of a exam to take at the end of a long school day. But it still would have been, I think, the best case scenario for them to turn this round and finish out a reverse sweep. But now they find themselves eliminated in the top 8 of Radiant Academy, no longer in the running for valedictorian at the top of the class here. They ended at the honor roll, and whew, Wow,
Yeah.
Jared. What a map. I usually don't enjoy Icebox that much.
Yeah, but this was like this was just the right map to play, I feel, because again, like you said, Icebox, I'm like Icebox. Like when it comes to my comp plays, I'm just like, okay. But this map, I mean, this matchup against the Icebox team versus FCC, it was just like the compositions felt right. The plays, which was just like so like fun to watch and to cast as well, which you always want to see like for a really good match like this. And yeah, it just ends with the SPOC team ending up in the top 8, and in such good fashion as well. Wow.
And I can't believe that we actually got to witness this series too, because it wasn't even a part of the original plan. Like I cannot imagine some of those moments that we had going unbroadcasted, right? Like the 2 Bunny Bee corner not cleared frags, like the
Rain's
insane
plays
shot from Rain, and the fact that there were no aces, I think that entire map as well is just astounding in its own right. But regardless, that does bring our matches today to a close. Let's take a look back at the bracket to see what that sets us up for tomorrow, or even if there are still some games going on after what's felt like a really long battle that we just witnessed. But here we go. Drum roll, please. It looks like Kitty Tactics, our first stream team, will join. So now all 3 out of 4 of our squads have been on stream. That's going to be interesting then for the 4th to join them between Thug Crash Outs and Blahaj Gang. Only one will rise, and currently Blahaj Gang, or isn't it supposed to be Blahaj? I don't know. It's late. It's almost midnight.
Yeah.
I know it's Blahaj. I don't know. Maybe it's Bludja. Well, I think Bludja is the shark. I could be wrong. From IKEA, but regardless, one of those teams will go up against the Tactics in the semifinals. But you'll have to tune back in tomorrow to find that out. Which matchup do you think you're more excited for out of these two?
Oh my god, wait, since we've seen like both Lil Pups and Yes Puck team, I'm just like really excited to see like them going up against each other. But again, like Kitty Pucks, Kitty Tactics, and perhaps Lahagi Gang or Tug Crash Outs, those are gonna be interesting as well because you know whichever like is more like secretive, like feels more like exciting to me. But still, like Lil Pups and DS Puck team, I mean, that's just gonna be something to see here because these performances they've given us today was just extraordinary. It was just such a good way to start the quarterfinals, and now tomorrow will be a really good place to start off with the semifinals.
Well, with that, I think this was definitely a day of learning, a day of just pop-off student teaching, growing moments regardless. And we got to make sure that if you weren't in class today, be prepared to come to class tomorrow. More specifically, make sure you guys go check out the Radiant store. I still need to order my merch. I'm not going to lie to you. I think I have my eyes on the Constellation piece because I just love space. And I think the Radiant merch is really cute. Same with the cat. Like, I don't know if you've seen like the cat emotes in the Discord server, but like I know there's some merch I think fashioned after that as well. I mean, is there, Jared, I feel like we could be the best draft if we showed up in Radiant merch in class, and we're the teachers for crying out loud. So
yes, you should
look your best, dress your best. Check out the Radiant store because again, all the money as well goes back to really nice initiatives like Radiant Academy. So you're doing some good, you're looking good, and you like when you're dressed your best, it's for success. So Jared, it's been a pleasure. It's only day 1. We're both back tomorrow, right? You gotta have some consistency with your teachers, right, across the school days. So what are you looking forward to most about tomorrow?
Definitely, as I said, you know, the battle against the SPUC team, and oh my god, it's been a really long day, but I mean all of these battles to see, and the semifinals, that's excitement will be really interesting to see. And you know, I've been in Radiant Academy before, but as an admin, but to come back here as a caster and like to be like at the front of the show, it just means so much to me. And it's been an amazing day to cast with you as well, and I can't wait to come back tomorrow to cast more.
Well, with that, we hope you all get a full 8 hours of sleep before you come back to 8 hours of class. But with that, have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Good night.